up, everybody? Welcome to Sermon Break.
Welcome to Sermon Break. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. What an incredible weekend in
I
church.
can't believe we're almost done going through the mindset.
Guys, that was mindset number 5.
What are we going to do?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. But it's been amazing. Do the new you has been awesome. We've been doing the new us. And hopefully you guys have been jumping in, getting involved, reading along in the book, discussing in the e-groups. I don't know, just making it practical. So it's been awesome.
This one's been my favorite so far. This is the
one?
one I've been waiting for.
You've been waiting for this one. I remember from the beginning. Well, I think both of us were like, my joy is my job. I don't know. Everyone likes to talk about joy.
I think he's talked about it before many times, but it's just so sticky, and I love talking about joy and how to cultivate more joy in your life. So this one was definitely my favorite. So I have a little icebreaker to kick us off, to start the conversation going a little bit. What is your joy-inducing hobby? If there's something that you could do all the time, what would be that thing?
What's that joy-inducing hobby? For me, anything outdoors. In the summer. All right, you're gonna put that on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know how much you like it in the winter.
In the summertime, anything outside. I'm talking gardening, yard work. I don't know. Some people think it's a chore. I think it's a joy. All right, I love it. It really, clears my mind, gets me out in nature, enjoying God's beauty, and so that's for me. Getting outside.
I think for me it's reading. I love reading. Inside, outside, anywhere.
That's a full year-round hobby.
Yeah, that's a
good.
full year. That brings me a lot of joy. Anything with animals brings me a lot of joy. I don't know. I feel like so many things. Watching you do yard work rather than helping brings me
All
joy.
right, perfect.
No, I like helping. I like helping too.
That's awesome. Well, let us know as well. Put it in the chat. Walking around, I love it. What else we got here? Sitting there on the beach for sure. That's
a good hobby. That's joy-inducing.
Everyone's saying go to the beach.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Lots of great hobbies for sure. Amazing message.
Yes.
We want to dive into it. We want to hear your sermon takeaways as well. So before we get to hearing all the takeaways, you're going to put them in the chat, but we have a quick clip that we want to share with you from the message. So check out this clip while you're putting your sermon takeaways in the chat.
And what I have to learn how to do in my life, and I suggest it is the task of all of us who walk by faith and not by sight, is to be free, unfinished. To be free, unfinished. To know that, okay, well, my money isn't where I want it to be, but my marriage is. My marriage isn't where I want it to be, but my relationship with God is growing. My relationship with God isn't where I want it to be, but I'm in church today, devil. Did you see me show up with my good clothes on, wearing green? Come on, pinch somebody real quick and say, I just wanted to get one in. Pinch yourself real quick. I mean, some of you need to wake up and realize all the things that God has done, and you are sitting there not smiling, not shouting, not celebrating, waiting on something else good to happen. When would be a good time for you to praise Him? I will bless the Lord at all times.
Let's go.
So good. That was my favorite part of the message.
It was awesome. Go ahead and just pinch yourself. All right, pinch yourself. It was awesome part of the message for sure. I think that's our tendency.
Yeah.
So often we get such a tendency on like, oh, this isn't going well, this isn't going well. And what about those things that are?
Right.
If it's certain things not going well in your life, but like, I am making good gains in my faith this year, as Pastor was saying. Like, celebrate that, like build on that momentum. And I truly believe as you start winning in certain areas, allow that momentum and those wins to start overflowing into other people's area as well.
When he was talking, it really made me think about a tendency that I have. I don't know if you have it, but I tend to just look at things in isolation, right? Like I could zoom really in to the thing that maybe I'm struggling with. So maybe it's I don't know, keeping something organized or having quality time with one of my friends, and I really can feel like a failure because I'm zooming in so tightly on the one thing. I feel like I'm not doing that well. But when I step back and look at the wider picture of, hey, you are actually doing really good at your job right now, or you and your relationship with your sister is thriving, and really trying to look more well-rounded, I definitely feel like I have more joy than when I hyper focus on one thing. So it's a strategy that I've been trying to do for the last couple of years, is really step back and look at my whole life, because like you said, there's always going to be things unfinished. We're never going to reach perfection. We're never going to be the perfect friend, the perfect daughter, the perfect wife, the perfect mother, the perfect husband, no matter how much we try. But we can be winning. We have those one-day wins that Pastor's been talking about, and we can focus on that. That's how we can start to cultivate more joy in our life.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. And I love when he was bringing back that quote from Kobe back in the day, and just talking about how, like, hey, it's unfinished. We're not finished yet. We're only 2 games in. And so I do definitely have a tendency. I remember when we were first going back in the backyard, and the snow had like just melted. This was like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, we were out there, and I'm like, oh man, that tree branch fell down. Oh, like this gardener gotta get going on that. And oh, this needs a little bit of trimming over here. And I got so focused on the unfinished, but it really like I kind of had that moment of like, well, what is happening right here? What's this? As Pastor was saying, okay, there's still a lot of that that's unfinished, but what's this right now? It was like, we're in the backyard as a family, being able to be outside again. That's amazing. Like, let's enjoy that. Let's focus on that. There's always things that are going to be unfinished, and I think that's definitely a tendency I have, is to focus on the unfinished, focus on what's next, focus on what I can do. But sometimes just resting in, hey, God, you have been good to us. You've been grateful, and focus on what the here and now is, for sure. I love Wonder was saying the size of the attack on you is the size of the assignment. As you look at the size of the assignment, that was huge as well, for sure.
Yeah. No, devil's not attacking you if there's not a big purpose on your life.
Sure.
I think for me, one of my top takeaways was how sometimes the process can become your prison, and you have to try not to let that happen. And I think so many times, again, we can be so hard on ourselves. I know that I can be, and it really imprisons you, and you think that you're never going to come out of it. But it's really learning to see the things that you go through the way that God sees them. And we can't be harder on ourselves than God is. And God has so much grace for us and so much love. And I think for me anyways, if I could learn to offer myself that a little bit more, again, I would be able to find more joy instead of locking myself into, oh, it's always going to be this way. It's never going to change. And I also loved how he talked about looking back on things, right? He mentioned in the clip there that God's been so good to you. Maybe there's something right now that's really holding you back, and you feel like he's not being very good. Well, can you look back at a time where he has and use that to really help you kind of go into your future?
Yeah, for sure. That is amazing. Also seeing a lot of people in the comments shouting the 4 P's out, all right?
Yes, that was
was huge. Really, going back to it, partner.
Yes. You need people around you.
We need people around us. We have praise. You gotta get your worship on a little bit.
Yes.
Prayer, of course, is vital for the good things and the tough things. Okay, not just the tough things, which is our tendency. And then purpose. I think that was so good. He kind of snuck that one at the end. He's like, oh, I'm gonna give you 3, and he's like, okay, here's the purpose at the end.
Yeah.
We need fulfillment.
We do.
We need fulfillment in life. And you know what I was thinking after this message was like, these 4 P's really translate so well into the 4 G's that we have at Elevation. All right, 4 P's to the 4 G's. All right, say that 15 times fast. But that's a really big thing that we have at Elevation here, is to really operate in the fullness of all that God could do through you, is going through the 4 G's: growth, gifts, giving, groups. Right? We talk about it all the time. Growth, inviting people out. No better time than right now. Easter's coming up, everybody. Get ready for it. We are so close to it. A couple weeks away now. Good Friday worship experiences. 6 p.m. both locations. We got Easter Sunday, 9:30, 11:30 Mississauga, 10:30 at Whitby. So lots of opportunities to invite people out. So that's the first G, growth, inviting people out. Gifts, using your gifts to serve God.
Yes.
I think God has blessed all of us with amazing, amazing talents and abilities and uniqueness. and we could all come together as the church to serve and reach even more people. And so I would encourage you, if you've never considered jumping in and starting to serve, volunteering here at Elevation Church, great opportunity to do that. You go to connectioncenter.ca, and you can go on there and jump on, click on serving, join the E-team. E101 is one thing that we have there that's kind of like a quick orientation, history, vision. It gives you an opportunity to shadow for a day. So that's a great opportunity.
And I remember when I first started serving, I met so many great people. So it's like you jump into serving. It's a way that you can find your partners. And there's definitely lots of ways that you can do it at the church, but I loved it. I really got into the community. I started serving in eKids, and I found that it really helped me with my job. I learned some really great skills, and I felt like I was better in my work because I was serving. So definitely encourage you to sign up for volunteering. It's so great for so many reasons.
Yeah, that's amazing. So growth, gifts, giving back to God what He's already blessed us with. You know, I always like to say 90% with God is way better than 100% without Him. Right? That's just basic math. And so being able to trust God with the tithe, being able to give back and sow back into seeing other people's lives change as well. So that's giving. And then groups. Kristen, you got to tell them what's going on. How do they jump into an e-group?
Yeah, you have to go and sign up for one of our groups. Again, you go to connectioncenter.ca and you can filter for Toronto, find one of the groups. We have virtual options. We have a couple in persons. Stephen runs a men's group in person.
Let's go. Monday mornings.
Our college and young adults. If you're between the ages of 18 and 30, you should come out on a Thursday night. They have food and so much fun. This is the way that you can find your people. So.
And shout out to our youth groups as well, because this Wednesday night there is Rhythm Night happening
Rhythm Night
at our Mississauga location, and so definitely get there. 6:30 drop off. Incredible time, worship, word, food truck, games.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be amazing. So definitely make plans for that grade 6 to grade 12, and we got to get to the action step.
Yes, what's our action step?
Before we wrap up, I know Easter's been big. We're going to be inviting. That's always an action step, is to invite. But here's the action step based on the message: invite God in.
Yes.
All right, invite God in. He talked about, hey, the prison doors were flung wide open, but they weren't just trying to rush out. God met them in the midst of the prison, and we were able to see that jailer. His life radically changed. His family life radically changed. I'm sure all the other prisoners' lives were all changed. It said that they were all still in there.
Yeah.
They didn't leave. They all kind of stayed, and God had a purpose in the midst of it. And so how can you invite God into that situation that you're believing? Maybe you want to get freed from.
Yeah.
But hey, how can God meet you in the midst of it and bring a little bit more joy to that?
I know it can be so scary sometimes to pray that prayer where you're kind of going against your preference, and maybe instead of saying, God, deliver me from this, but it's really saying, God, help me in this, and bringing Him into it. But it's so powerful. I've experienced doing that so many times in my life, and wow, it shifts things. So invite God into whatever it is that you're going through today.
All right. God bless everybody. Have an incredible week.
We'll
see you guys soon.